Hello! I hope you're having a great day, whatever time it is with you. This time last week, I took a talk on a stage. It was the scariest thing I've ever done. I posted a YouTube on it last Sunday, just in case you want to give it a watch. It was on Everything Evolve, how I started my journey, fitness and business, and what my goal was when creating Evolve. Okay, settle down, children. How funny is my mug? I was going to say, guess what I've got, but it's just a bit of a giveaway really, isn't it? Off the back of that talk that I took, I had quite a lot of questions, which was so nice, on whether all of it was going to be posted or whether all of it was filmed and I could share it. And unfortunately it wasn't. My camera kept going in and out of focus, which was so annoying. It's their house and I just live in it. They are the main characters. And when I'm consuming other people's content, I always like to know a little bit more about them, how their whole journey started and why they started their journey. So if you're consuming my content, I gathered, why not share a little bit more about how my fitness journey did start, everything that I went through, and why I wanted to continue working on Evolve to make it what it is today. So first things first, so I'm not repeating myself, I will pop down here somewhere a video on how I gained 10 kilograms and how I went from feeling very restricted around foods and fearing weight gain to feeling free in a muscle building journey. I'm just loving feeling hench. So in 2012, I started working out in my parents' garage with my grandfather's hand-me-down rusty weights. I knew nothing. I was just watching the MTV music channel, like, I want Beyonce's ass. I started my journey purely for aesthetic reasons, without even knowing how to get there. I was just watching YouTube videos, I was doing stupid exercises that do nothing to build a bum like Beyonce. But it's how I started. And I think the most important thing in a fitness journey is sometimes just taking that step forward and overcoming that fear of, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work for me? I'm not too sure how to do this, and then figure it out later. I started uni in 2013. I studied geography at the most random degree going, and this is when my severe restrictions with food started. I think that came from a place of insecurities and comparing myself to other people. I still didn't know what I was doing, so I just thought, right, if I just cut loads of things out, like, I'll end up being really lean and really small. Even though one side of me was like, that's exactly what I want, the other side of my brain was like, you want to build muscle, you want to build shape. I went down a slippery slope of demonizing foods, pretty much, and thinking that I needed to be in the gym near enough 7 days a week, even if it was literally like a 20-30 minute session, so that I didn't take a step backwards. God forbid I missed a session as well. Now, at my time in uni, one thing that was very positive about my fitness experience was that the guys took me under their wing. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was a cardio bunny when I first got to uni because I'd been working out in my parents' garage, but then heading into the actual gym at uni, where like you knew lots of people from like your courses, I was like, oh my gosh, no. I remember feeling really anxious, so I just stuck to the cardio machines for quite some time. And then it must have been like going into year 2, I started making some gym friends. So I then got taken in pretty much by the gym bros, and that's when I started weightlifting. I still had no clue what I was doing, but it was a start. It was a chapter that I went through that has shaped me into who I am today and helped me have clarity on why I wanted to create Evolve later down the line. So the severe restrictions, they continued on, unfortunately, for quite some time. It wasn't until 2019 that I started to look at things quite differently, and my perspective on health and fitness and exercise and food completely changed. And this was because my dad had a life-changing stroke and it left him completely disabled. It was completely life-changing for my entire family. It's quite sad that it took something like that in my family to happen for me to have a different perspective on health and fitness. That's when my shift in mentality towards fitness happened. And I knew from that point forward that I wanted to change the way that I was going around health and fitness. Over the next couple of months, it was really tough, but I knew that I needed to make changes. I was commuting 45 minutes on a good run, one way to work, 45 minutes home. And then I was having to travel an hour in the other direction to hospital to visit my dad, fit in some gym sessions, fit in steps throughout the day, and make sure that I was still eating nutritiously dense foods, because the last thing that I wanted to do was to slip off the bandwagon because of the difficult times I was going through with my family. Now, don't get me wrong, I completely appreciate that people deal with things in different ways, but I think the worst thing that you can do when you're going through a difficult time is just completely step away from everything that allows you to feel good about yourself, allows you to feel good mentally, physically, looking after your health from the inside out. No matter how much of a shitty time you are going through, there is absolutely no doubt that if you continue to keep up some healthy habits, you don't have to do them all, you will look back when time passes and thank yourself so much for doing that. And that's exactly how I feel. That first week that I was traveling back and forth to the hospital, I absolutely took some time to myself to just digest everything that was happening at that point. But I then made a plan of action and I swore to myself, I'm going to keep my routine up, because if I don't, I'm going to end up spiraling. So instead of going to the gym every single day, I was like, this isn't healthy. I need to look after myself mentally and physically. I ended up dropping down to 3 sessions a week at that point, whilst I was still visiting my dad, there for my mum, there for my brother. I was taking time to prep my meals on a Sunday before the week started, just for an hour or so. I tend to batch cook like chicken and veg, and then I would just throw together a carb sauce with it on the day, whether that was a chicken wrap or chicken pasta, for example. So that really helped me stay within a healthy routine, and just getting out for fresh air on my lunch breaks at work, waking up a little bit earlier to go out for a walk, it really set me up for a much better day. And straight away I was in the mindset of, right, things are going to be okay. This is a tough part in life, but I'm going to get through it. Can't recommend following a routine enough if you're going through something difficult. After a few months of following a healthier routine that was more suitable for me and everything that I was going through at the time, when he eventually came out of hospital, I was like, I really want to continue this on, and I really want to continue leveling up my journey and focusing on my health in every aspect. I want to feel empowered going into the weight section. I want to know what I'm doing. I want to follow a structured plan, and I want to get strong, and I actually want to commit to building muscle and building my shape, because I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I was just really afraid of increasing my calories and gaining weight. But the one thing that I learned along the way is that you will only ever be as lean as the muscle mass that you've got. I'll pop a little comparison up here of 2019 when I decided to commit to everything, and then a photo now. In 2019, you'll be able to see that I don't have much shape at all. And if you don't have sufficient muscle mass, it doesn't matter how long you go into a diet phase for, you won't end up looking lean, because you need muscle to look lean and look defined. A lot of people use the term toned. Now, toned just means dropping fat and building muscle mass. You can't look toned without the muscle mass. And now looking back to my photos, it's mad to think how many years I restricted myself for trying to achieve a physique I felt confident in and empowered in, and I didn't get there until more recently. And that was because of the years that I held back working through my fears, and I buried my head in the sand from things that I was worried about having to do if I actually wanted to start working towards my goals. 2020 comes around, the year of lockdown. I decided I was going to enroll to qualify, because I had been through several months, well, a year pretty much at that point, of really working on myself, working through the restrictions, and I managed to come out the other end by myself. Looking back now, I probably should have got a coach a lot sooner than I did. This is when I started posting a lot more about fitness and sharing my advice, my tips, and everything that I believed in. And I started my first building phase. So this is when I truly committed to building muscle, and I told myself, you are not going back from here. Like, we are increasing calories gradually, and we're not reverting back to square one. This is when you really need to work through it once and for all. And that we did. So I then got myself a coach to help support and continue pushing me forward in the right direction. I was still working in corporate at this time, and then I started PTing in Pure Gym in 2021. Now, PTing was great for me, and I really think that as an online coach you should have gym floor experience, because it helps you understand the gym environment a lot more when you're working in it. For example, my gym was across 2 floors. When I was PTing people and writing up programs, I was like, the leg press is upstairs, the leg extension is downstairs, the abductor is upstairs. So if a coach hasn't had gym floor experience, that's something that they might not think about. I took some gym classes, which were really fun. I used like a little microphone. I remember feeling so scared to take my first class to the point where no one could really hear me talking because I felt so weird speaking through a microphone. Ended up absolutely loving it, and my classes ended up being really full. At this point, because I'd had more experience with face-to-face clients, and I was gradually and slowly building up my online client base, I really started to think about the direction I wanted to go down, who I wanted to help and why. My business mission was based on my past experiences. When I was going through those severe restrictions, I knew exactly, damn well, what I wanted to be achieving, but I wasn't doing it because of my fears. They were holding me back, and I had no one to support me and get me through that. So it ended up being so many years of my life stuck in that same place when I could have been moving forward. So my mission is to help women get through their fears based on my own experiences so that you don't have to wait for years to do the same thing. Part of this was also how I want women to feel in and out of the gym. I'm a massive believer. If you build confidence in a gym environment, that is transferable across so many other areas in your life. There have been so many clients tell me, and tell Leah as well, do you know what? I never ever thought that you would get me through those gym doors, but now I'm through those gym doors. My hobby is going to try out different gyms each weekend. I go into different gyms when I'm on holiday. I've got no concerns asking anyone for help there. It's nowhere near as scary as I thought it was ever going to be. And actually, the confidence that it's helped me build has just transferred into all other areas. I'm more confident with my partner. I'm more confident in my job, in my career. It's just incredible. And I know for sure that if I hadn't have built confidence inside a gym environment where I was firstly most anxious, I absolutely wouldn't have the confidence to do other things that I now do in life. But I think when you conquer one thing that you think, I'm never ever going to get over this, realize that absolutely you definitely will. It just takes a little bit of a push and some guidance to get there. My values also came into this, and I really wanted to think about, right, what is going to align with what I believe in, and how can I bring my values into my business? Something I am massively passionate about is weightlifting. Sun, I'm not complaining. Stunning, but not right now, please. I'm melting. I'm so passionate about women weightlifting. As we get older, our hormone profile changes, our estrogen levels drop, and so does our muscle tissue. Our bones weaken. We are more susceptible to conditions like osteoporosis, which is brittle bone disease. We're going to be less independent, and we're not going to be able to complete day-to-day tasks as easily. So to me, it's an absolute no-brainer to work on your strength. You don't have to work on building as much muscle mass as I wanted to build. You don't have to weight train 5 times a week, but even just weight training 2 times a week, working on your overall strength, incorporating it into your lifestyle is going to be so beneficial for you, not only in the present, but for so many years down the line as well. So weightlifting is something I wanted to share more of on my socials, because I want other women to feel inspired to go into the weight section, and to also know that if you're coming to me and you're asking for advice or you're looking to get started with me as your coach, you know that I'm going to encourage that. Something I also really wanted to ensure came across with Build and Evolve was helping women overcome their fears when it comes to fueling your body and being in a gym environment. These were my core values and missions that I wanted to bring into Evolve, and everything that Evolve stands for is empowering women to become the strongest version of themselves mentally and physically. And also knowing, girl, you can take up space in the gym. Muscle is not going to make you bulky, and you absolutely can overcome gym anxiety with the right support. Something I actually do for beginner clients when they do have a lot of gym anxiety is I'll start them off in a quiet corner. So I'll design their program just based on a quiet corner in their gym with some dumbbells, and we'll gradually ease them into different exercises, different machines. And before I know it, they're messaging me like, when am I having more in my program then? And I'm like, oh girl, the assignment is getting completed. If we go back a little bit, just to when I was saying I was a PT in Poo Gym, I continued on with this until February 2022. when I went fully self-employed as an online coach. So all of my values, all of my missions came together and Evolve was created, and I have not looked back since. Absolutely love what I do. I am so passionate about it. And I honestly just get so excited and invested in other clients' journeys because I know exactly how it feels to come from a place where you just don't feel like you have any sense of direction, you don't know where you're going, to finally thinking, wow, this is clicking and I am loving it. The lovely Leah then started in September 2022. Wow, I'm gonna move this because the sun is really warm. And we have just continued to build year on year and help more women from all kind of backgrounds. I honestly never thought that Evolve would become what it is today. I never thought that I would be standing on a stage getting asked to take a talk on how and why I created Evolve to other fitness coaches and people starting up their business. And I'm honestly just so proud of what it has become. We have such a supportive community, a community of women who genuinely just love lifting others up. I'm gonna wrap this up now. That was pretty much 13 years wrapped up into around 15 minutes. But I'm an open book. If you have any questions about anything, my fitness journey, Evolve, always please just pop me a message over on my Instagram at Kaylee_Evolve and I will be more than happy to get back to you. Over the next 2 weeks, I actually have a photo shoot and a client photo shoot. And it's gonna be the first photo shoot that I've done mid-building phase. So I'm hoping that I can inspire even just a couple of women when I'm doing that photo shoot. Go and commit to the goals you want to achieve for yourself, because if I can do it, you can do it. I'm just human, and so are you, and so is everyone else. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye!